This broke student ate the same thing every meal, steamed buns with pickled mustard. But his rich roommates happened to catch him doing it. Instead of mocking him for it, they started thinking of ways to help this roommate who could barely afford food eat a little better. After talking it over, they finally came up with a good idea. So the next day at lunch, one rich kid came over with a full plate of braised pork and sat across from him. Seeing this, the broke student could only smile awkwardly. Knowing he did not fit in with them, he immediately stood up, picked up his bland meal, and moved to another seat. But the second he sat down, another rich kid came over with a plate of braised pork trotters and sat across from him. Then he stared at him with a mischievous grin. The broke student's heart sank, thinking they were doing this just to make fun of him. Feeling like he did not deserve to sit with them, he had no choice but to carry his bland meal and awkwardly move to the table behind him. But as soon as he sat down with his tray, he saw the class monitor sit straight across from him with a bottle of Sprite. Seeing that, the broke student got ready to stand up again and move somewhere else. But the rich kid with the braised pork immediately stepped in and blocked his way. Helpless, the broke student turned to leave from the other side, only to find the one with the pork trotters walking over too. The two rich kids boxed him in from both sides, cutting off his escape route. Just as the broke student was completely confused, the class monitor spoke up. "Sit down. Why are you wandering around during lunch?" Seeing their setup, the broke student thought they were about to humiliate him, but what happened next moved him deeply. Without saying a word, the rich kids first pushed two tables together. "Eat with us." The next second, the rich kids placed all the meat and fish from their trays right in front of him and kept adding food to his bowl. This sudden heartwarming moment completely moved the broke student. He never expected that these rich kids would not look down on him for his poor background. Instead, he had been the one judging them unfairly. Turns out this young man had studied hard for 18 years and got into the National Defense University with an outstanding score of 800. He came from a remote mountain area in Yunnan and Guizhou, and his father was hopelessly addicted to alcohol. Even when the family barely had enough to eat, his father still could not go a meal without drinking. He even wanted the young man to give up college so he could save money for alcohol. But the young man could not accept that because he knew college was his only way out. To save the money for a train ticket, he actually set off half a month early and walked to school. When he got tired or hungry on the road, he gnawed on a few bites of hard-steamed buns. Meanwhile, the rich kids rode the high-speed train, laughing and chatting the whole way. Even though he had left half a month early and crossed mountains on foot, he still missed the freshman check-in time. When there was only one day left before registration ended, students from all over the country had already arrived. Only he was still walking along the wide road with the registration deadline almost over. With no other choice, he finally worked up the courage to flag down a ride. They say if you drop 3 flowers right now, good fortune and smooth sailing are coming your way. Meanwhile, the rich kids looked at the empty bed and started getting curious about this mysterious guy, who still had not shown up. Who exactly is this Yang fan? The final check-in deadline is 9 tomorrow morning. Why still has he not shown up? At the same time, the school director also noticed the student who had not arrived. He wanted the instructor to call his family, but after checking the records, they found no phone number in his file. Soon, it was the next morning. Seeing that their roommate still had not arrived, the rich kids started talking again. "That guy from our dorm, if he still does not show up before 9, will he really get dropped?" Of course, school rules are not a joke. Besides, we are defense students, so it is definitely stricter. Did you not see Director Zhao pacing out front all morning? Someone in your class still has not checked in? A guy named Yang Fan. Who knows where he is sailing off to? It is almost time, and he still has not docked. As time passed second by second, the registration deadline quickly arrived, but the young man still had not made it to school. According to school rules, if he failed to report by the required time, the school had no choice but to process his automatic withdrawal. Meanwhile, the young man had only just reached the school gate in the car he had hitched a ride in. The first thing he did after getting out was change out of the worn-out cloth shoes he had walked in for half a month, afraid his classmates would look down on him. Then he quickly fixed himself up, grabbed his luggage bag, and sprinted toward the school at about 50 miles an hour. But because he was running too fast and could not stop, he crashed straight into an instructor walking toward him. When the instructor saw the freshman file bag that had fallen to the ground, he immediately realized this might be the missing freshman. "Are you Yang Fan?" But just as the instructor was about to take the file, the female staff officer beside him snatched it away. Then she calmly pulled out her Rolex and checked the time. She found that he was exactly 9 minutes late. According to school rules, he had to go back where he came from. "The final check-in time has already passed. Go home. Your file will be mailed back to you by the school later." After saying that, the female staff officer turned around and left without looking back. The instructor quickly chased after her. The young man was left standing there, completely stunned. The instructor followed the female staff officer into the office and pleaded on the young man's behalf. He believed the young man was only 9 minutes late. The college entrance exam was not easy, so he hoped she would give him one chance. But this female staff officer was famously strict and impossible to persuade. In her mind, if the school had rules, they had to be enforced. 9 minutes? Do you really have to be that strict? Even 1 minute late is not allowed. He is a defense student. If this were war, 9 minutes would be enough for a battle to end. You cannot hold them completely to military standards. They are students, not soldiers. Under me, there are only soldiers, no students. You are being unreasonable. Take a good look. Where are we? A school, a civilian university, not your Marine Brigade. But I am from the Marine Brigade. Because the female staff officer had been assigned by the military to train the students, there was no such thing as special treatment in her eyes. If the school had rules, those rules had to be followed. Seeing that being polite did not work, the instructor decided to get tough with her. "The files are under my control. If I say he is not dropped, then he is not dropped. You do not get to decide that. The people are under my control. If I say I do not want him, then I do not want him. What are you even saying? I am going to the director." In no time, the instructor found the director, hoping he could step in and persuade this stubborn female staff officer. But the director was helpless too because she was indeed enforcing school rules. Even as the director, he could not force someone to break them. Meanwhile, after learning he was being withdrawn, the young man squatted on the ground and cried his eyes out. His classmates all came over to comfort him. They told him to go to the school leaders himself and explain why he was late. Maybe there was still a chance to fix it. But the proud young man was afraid that if he told the truth, his classmates would look down on him. No matter how long they tried to persuade him, he did not say a word. He just squatted there silently, crying like his heart had been ripped out. Just then, a girl nearby could not stand watching him cry non-stop. "What are you crying for?" "Shut your mouth. You are a grown man crying in broad daylight in front of all these people. Are you even a man?" Just then, the class monitor pulled the girl aside, worried her harsh words would upset the already heartbroken young man even more. "Stop talking. He already feels bad enough." "Bad about what?" "What is so great about being a defense student? Will he die if he does not get to be one? That is not the issue. If he gets dropped, he cannot even become a regular student. Then he can retake the exam next year. Men really are so dramatic. Do not be fooled by how sharp her tongue was. Deep down, she actually had a soft heart." The next second, she went to the office and found her older sister, the female staff officer, to plead for him. She believed that if an 18-year-old guy was crying that hard in public, he must have something he could not say. She hoped her sister would investigate the reason first before making the final decision. "I am begging you, let him stay. If you send him home, what if he does something stupid? If he really is that narrow-minded, then someone like that is not fit to be a soldier. Then you should at least give him a chance. Talk to the school and let him be a regular student. The college entrance exam is too hard. That is why people call June the Black Month." "I know, go back." Staff Officer Gao, Even after the girl talked herself hoarse, her sister remained firm and refused to break the rules. Soon, it was lunchtime. The students all went to the cafeteria to eat, but the young man was alone, squatting quietly in a hallway corner. Just then, a student suddenly appeared and brought him a boxed meal. He looked up and saw it was the same sharp-tongued girl. "Hungry, right? Eat." "Thank you, but I cannot take your food." The girl knew how hard the college entrance exam was, and she believed the young man must have some hidden reason. So while everyone else was eating in the cafeteria, she wanted to ask him the real reason he was late. Only by knowing the truth would they have a reason to help him. But the young man still clung stubbornly to his so-called pride. He could only lie and say his rooster suddenly laid an egg, and he got so excited that he left a few minutes late. Hearing that ridiculous excuse, the girl was completely out of ideas. Soon, night came. His roommates worried he had nowhere to sleep, so they planned to pull him into the dorm for one night. But unexpectedly, the female staff officer caught them red-handed, and both of them nearly jumped out of their skin. They knew exactly how she did things. Before she could even step forward and speak, one roommate grabbed the young man's luggage bag and tried to run. Stop running, we got caught." But just then, a pair of worn-out old cloth shoes fell out of the young man's luggage bag. Seeing this, the class monitor slowly crouched down and picked up the shoes from the ground. Looking at the worn-out shoes in his hands, the class monitor finally understood why the young man had refused to say the real reason he was late. So early the next morning, the class monitor gathered the entire class. Together, they planned to get justice for this poor but sensible young man. Report, speak.